Hey guys, welcome back to Art Theories. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. I've spent the last couple of weeks walking around London, seeing all the new exhibitions, and there are some really good exhibitions on at the moment. And as I was traipsing around these galleries, a thought occurred to me. Some galleries are way better than others. Some galleries are absolute trash. Let's make a tier list, a master list, worst to best galleries in London. So that's what I've done. Now, obviously, there's thousands of galleries in London, so I've had to kind of slim it down, and I've just gone with the major contemporary art galleries. Contemporary art means art that's new or has just been made or was recently made. So here it is. This is my master list of worst to best galleries in London. And we're going to start this journey in a place called Gallery Hell. This is where the galleries I really don't recommend you go to exist. These are the galleries that I personally wouldn't touch with a barge pole, and I recommend you don't touch them with a barge pole either. First up on this list is the Zabludovic Gallery. And I used to go to this gallery, and I used to really like it, had really good exhibitions, but I learned something which kind of ruined it for me. Basically, the gallery is owned and funded by an arms dealer who made his money selling arms to the state of Israel, and the technology he sold has been linked to war crimes on the Gaza Strip. So that's a bit of a vibe kill. And personally, I'm not an expert on the links between Zabludovic, his businesses, and the way that they're used in Israel and Palestine, but there are people who have documented it really well online, and I'm going to link that below. And yeah, I'm just not really comfortable supporting an art gallery by visiting if they've made their money contributing to war crimes. So that one I've pretty much written off as a gallery that I can't go to anymore. And yeah, I think you should probably do the same. The next gallery that lives in Gallery Hell is the Newport Street Gallery. This gallery is owned by Damien Hirst and was opened in 2015. And at first, this gallery was amazing. They had these massive exhibitions of Jeff Koons and Gavin Turk, and they were really well put together, and it was so exciting. But recently, the quality of the exhibitions has gone massively downhill. Since then, they've been closed for about 6 months, and I don't know when they plan to reopen. I think either Damien got bored of the project or realised it was too expensive. Anyway, it's kind of disappointing how badly this gallery is doing, and I wouldn't really recommend going there anytime soon because it's closed. So I wasn't really planning to include commercial galleries on this list because there's so many, they're all quite small, and which ones do you include, which ones don't you include? But if I was including commercial galleries, Victoria Miro Gallery certainly would have found its place in Gallery Hell. There are 2 reasons for this. Firstly, I was an unpaid intern for the Victoria Miro Gallery in 2018, and they treated me horribly. Secondly, they stink of money, and yet they choose to use unpaid interns in London, one of the most expensive cities in the world. Not only is this unnecessary, but it's also gatekeeping their industry because it means only people who can afford to take unpaid interns can access those jobs. Pretty sus. Please note, I'm not sure if they still use unpaid interns. They certainly did in 2018 because I was one of them. And the final gallery that I've decided to place in Gallery Hell is Versace Gallery. It's just not a good gallery. I haven't seen good art here for a really long time. So, yeah. Okay, so we've now left Gallery Hell and we're entering the realm of immortal galleries. These are the galleries which are not terrible. They're good galleries, but they're also not the galleries where you see the best exhibition of your life. They're not consistently amazing. They have their ups and downs, and some years they're pretty good, some years they're pretty rubbish. That kind of realm. The first gallery which exists in the realm of mortal galleries is the Serpentine Gallery. And I actually really like the Serpentine Gallery because it's located in Hyde Park and it's a really beautiful walk to get there. They've got these 2 beautiful buildings and an extension made by Zaha Hadid where the cafe is. They've got an amazing bookshop. So there's a lot of things going for it. But at the same time, I really can't help but feel like they've been underperforming recently. A lot of their exhibitions are not that good. Like, they're just boring or not that interesting. And I feel like they have everything going for it. So why have I not seen a really good exhibition there in so long? I don't know. But that's why they're at the bottom of this mortal realm of galleries. In terms of bathrooms, they have a male bathroom, a female bathroom, and a gender neutral bathroom. But I realise they've pulled a little sleight of hand here, because what they actually did was just rebranded the disabled toilet as a gender neutral toilet, whilst keeping the other two toilets the same. And at first I was kind of like, alright, fair enough. But I was talking to my partner about this, and they raised a really good point, which is that this might be quite annoying for disabled people who now may not immediately be able to access the toilet because the gallery has redirected the gender non-conforming people to the disabled toilet. So it's not an ideal solution, but I can see why they did that. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on that one. On the plus side, the Serpentine Gallery is free entry, which we always love. The next gallery, which exists in this realm, is the White Cube Gallery. For every one great exhibition the White Cube Gallery hosts, they have about 9 bad ones. In my opinion, their last really good exhibition was of Dan Vo. That was in 2020. Everything since then has been pretty boring and dry. But on the plus side, if my 1:9 ratio is correct, they are due to have a good exhibition soon. The space is very flashy, but really soulless. The bookshop isn't that great, but to be fair, it's free. Next up, we have the Tate Galleries. I've decided to combine the Tate Galleries into one entry because they kind of display things in a similar way and they've got a similar vibe. Something I really like about the Tate Galleries is the way they use big spaces, like their Turbine Hall and the Duveen Halls. They have really big, ambitious installations, which always, in my opinion, look fantastic and gives artists this resource and this space to do really ambitious work, which I think is great. But I do feel like a lot of the exhibitions I see at the Tate are quite boring or just a bit dry. Tate is such an empire of an institution. I just wonder whether they are really able to host art that's actually radical or progressive or interesting in any way. Their cafe is pretty rubbish and they only use disposable cups, which obviously isn't very eco-friendly. The coffee is average, but the food is pretty questionable. One piece of advice, don't get the vegetarian wrap, it's not good. Their toilets are gendered, but their gift shop is actually pretty good. I appreciate they have an art theory section. I didn't really feel like I could give the Tate Galleries a top spot on this list because it's just not where the most interesting contemporary art happens. But I still kind of like it and I visit quite a lot. I kind of see it as the gallery equivalent of Pizza Express or Wagamama's. Like, everyone likes it, but we all know it's not where the best, most authentic food in London can be found. Okay, now we're leaving the flat lands of mortal galleries and we're entering the high peaks of culture. These galleries are operating at a high level. They still have flaws, but on the whole, they're great cultural spaces at the top of their field. And the first gallery located up here on the high peaks of culture is the Barbican. Nestled at the base of the iconic Barbican estate, this art gallery and theatre has hosted some of the most inspirational exhibitions I have ever seen in my life, including Bedouin Williams, Eddie Peake, Jean-Michel Basquiat. The exhibition spaces themselves are really nice, and they have these exposed concrete beams which break up the white cube space and give it some personality. The building itself is iconic, and they have this brutalist garden with benches where you can go and sit and watch the fountains. It's actually really lovely. If you want to go to the latest exhibition at the Barbican, it will cost you £18, which is a lot of money. And obviously this isn't great because it prices a lot of people out from accessing the art. So yeah, the gift shop is pretty rubbish, and the cafe only uses disposable cups, which again isn't very eco-friendly. I think they could do better. And also they separate their toilets by gender. But still, the exhibitions are really good, so I had to put them in the high peaks of culture. Just above the Barbican, we have the Whitechapel Gallery. Once again, their exhibitions rarely disappoint. They have really good exhibitions of major contemporary and modern artists. The curation's always really good, and the gallery space itself is really, really nice. Their bookshop is on point. I literally want to buy every single book in that shop, and I can just be lost in there for ages. The cafe is a little bit on the fancy side. I personally prefer a more down-to-earth cafe experience from my galleries. The Whitechapel Gallery have again chosen to have male and female and gender-neutral toilets, but they've pulled the same trick as the Serpentine Gallery, and they've basically just rebranded the disabled toilet as gender-neutral. Again, same problem. This might be annoying for a disabled person, but I can see how they're trying to take steps towards inclusivity, so it's a bit of a weird one, that. Also, this is not a cheap trip out. A standard ticket will cost you £16.50. Again, same problem. Only affluent people can afford to access the art. But it is a really good gallery with really good exhibitions, so if you do have £16.50 to spare, I would recommend going there. And the final gallery which exists on these high peaks of culture is the Hayward Gallery. The Hayward Gallery is located on the South Bank and can be recognised by its iconic brutalist architecture. The exhibition space is massive and it's lovely, and it spans 2 floors. They consistently have great exhibitions. The exhibition you can see behind me right now is their current exhibition of Mike Nelson. It's really, really good. I'd highly recommend going. They have a great shop. They've got gender-neutral toilets. And I think the cafe's got better in recent years. One minus, again, exhibitions are quite expensive. This one costs £16 for a ticket. But I'm pretty sure that if you're under the age of 30 and you go on a Wednesday or a Thursday, it's only £6. But obviously check that out before you go, because you might be watching this video in the future. Things might have changed. I might have just made that fact up. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I haven't checked it. Yeah. We've now taken off from planet Earth. We've left the high peaks of culture behind, and we have entered the goated realm of galleries. These are, in my opinion, the greatest contemporary art galleries in London. The hard hitters, the best of the best, the creme de la creme. And the first gallery which exists in this goated realm is the Camden Art Centre. I love this gallery for a few different reasons. Firstly, their exhibitions are really, really good. And they have like 2 separate spaces, and they normally have this really nice balance where one space will have like painting or sculpture, and the other space will have something a bit more conceptual or a bit more media based, like a video or an installation. And that creates a really nice balance. I like the fact they thought about it. Secondly, their exhibitions are free. Thirdly, the cafe is really, really nice, and they have a lovely garden space, and the coffee's delicious. Fourthly, and this is a really underrated quality, but it's something I really appreciate about this gallery, the staff are really friendly and chatty, and every time I go there I have a chat with a member of staff, and it's just really nice, and it just creates a really nice overall experience. I'm also a bit of a lone wolf when I go to galleries, so I appreciate when someone chats to me. Also, they've got gender-neutral toilets. What's not to love? Next up, in the goated realm, we have the South London Gallery. This gallery feels like home to me. I live in the area, I go there all the time, and it's just fantastic. They've got 2 buildings to exhibit in. They've got this one big room in their main space, and then they recently bought the old fire station next door, which has a bunch of smaller spaces. So they have a variety in the types of spaces they can exhibit art within. And they get really cool contemporary artists to exhibit in this space, like Rini Matic, like Alvaro Barrington, like Sophie Kundell, like artists I'm really interested in and actually I'm really curious to see. So I always really, really appreciate that. They've also been hosting the Bloomberg New Contemporaries since 2018, which is basically like a group exhibition of up-and-coming artists. It's pretty hit and miss. It's usually miss, but I still quite enjoy it. The cafe is on point. The bookshop is fantastic. The toilets are gender neutral. I love this gallery. But there is one gallery I love even more. The top spot, the pinnacle of galleries, the goat of goats, the best gallery in London for contemporary art, in my opinion, is the Institute of Contemporary Arts, also known as the ICA, located on the King's Driveway. This gallery consistently produces great inspirational exhibitions with cutting-edge artists. Not only that, it has a cinema which screens cool art films. It also has amazing talks by artists and parties with like really cool DJs. So it has a lot going for it. I think you're supposed to pay to enter this gallery, but honestly, every single time I go there, I just walk straight past reception, I go straight into the gallery space, and no one's ever asked me to pay. So I think you can probably just do that as well. The footage you're currently seeing is from their current exhibition of R.I.P. Jermaine, which, in my opinion, was really good. The bookshop is on point and the toilets are gender neutral. The cafe has gone a little bit downhill since COVID, but you know, we can forgive them for that. I actually worked at the ICA in 2018 and the people running the ICA at that time weren't the most respectful, but the gallery has changed directors since then and I feel like the culture's shifted a little bit. I could be wrong there, I'm not really sure, but I just get that sense. I don't know, but I still actually love this gallery and some of the best exhibitions I've ever seen were in this space. Metahaven 2018 was incredible in my opinion. So yeah, basically that's my favourite gallery in London. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Let me know what you think. Would your list look different? Please come at me in a respectful way in the comments and tell me why you disagree with me. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.